old are you?
How old?
How old are you? 39? You're only 4 years older than me. And what do you weigh?
All that.
And what's your social security number? Do you guys think these questions are invasive? How do you think our lakes and rivers feel? Oh my gosh, holy carp, they're so upset. I'd like to first thank our sponsors, Cascade Meadow, which Andrew Remick is here on behalf of Cascade Meadow Wetlands and Environmental Science Center. And Clampy Dental, we have Jennifer and Terry Clampy. Our guest experts for the evening, we have Jeff Broberg with McGee and Betts Environmental Services. And Dr. Peter Sorensen, who is the director of the brand new Invasive Aquatic Species Research Center from the St. Paul campus of the University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I hope that you all will be entertained, enjoy live theater with a purpose, and will learn a lot more about why awareness of this problem is so important. Thanks for the picture. I'd like to now introduce our improv troupe from the Twin Cities. They're called the Theater of Public Policy. Tane Danger is the interviewer and co-founder of the group. So without further ado, Tane Danger, come on out.
Hello, everyone.
No.
I don't know if this is actually working. All right. Hello, everyone. Yes. Hi, my name's Tane Danger. This is the Theater of Public Policy. We are so excited to be here with you tonight. So, what we typically will do and what we're going to do tonight is we will talk to a couple very smart people about what they're worried about, their particular issue, and we'll have a fascinating conversation, and then we turn it over to this team of very talented improvisers, and they bring it all to life. Everything that they do is completely unscripted, completely made up on the spot, and it's all inspired by our conversation with our guests tonight and from your questions and from the things that we talk about with tonight about our particular issue. So, without further ado, please help me in welcoming our guests to the stage. All right, so please have a seat. This is one of those host rules. I'm not allowed to sit down until you all sit down. I'm so excited. How many people were here? And that is actually the sound of Carp coming towards the building. They are surrounding us. Yeah, is that the sound barrier that will keep the carp away? Because we're going to do the same for our audience. So we're here tonight to talk about invasive species, particularly carp is an aquatic invasive species. I feel like I'm sure everyone here already knows what carp are and which carp are which, but maybe we should just start with sort of a definition of carp is not just one fish, it's multiple fish, and particularly Asian carp is not even just one fish, right? It's multiple fish, so I'll hand it over to you.
Oh, Dr. Sorensen.
Dr. Sorensen.
Okay, well, carp is a generic term given to large river fish from Europe and Asia. And there are dozens of them, dozens of species of carp.
Well, I'm going to just shout. Why are we picking on Asian carp? Why are they? I mean, they seem fine.
I guess it depends on your perspective.
To the Asian carp, they seem fine.
The people who brought them here, they seemed fine at the time. Maybe not anymore. They eat a lot. I think that's the main. And
they're good American fish now.
Yeah. Well, we're not necessarily plankton eaters. That's the problem.
Okay, so they eat. You mentioned just briefly that they were brought here. Do we know exactly how Asian carp are not? Where are they from originally?
China.
China. And so how did they end up here?
They were brought by a consortium of fish farmers, US EPA, University of Arkansas, people that brought them over here to clean the waters down in Arkansas.
Smart people.
Arkansas! Trying to start a fight.
Yeah, no, not really.
How about the common carp?
The common carp was brought here by representatives of the U.S. government, Fish and Wildlife Service, at the request of citizens of the United States.
Really?
And I guess the same's really true with the Asian carp, because they were also brought here. A lot of people thought they could clean up the waters, like I said, in sewage treatment plant areas and that kind of thing, backwater areas. So the intentions were good, the consequences were bad.
So the idea was these carp could clean it because they eat plankton, and so they would sort of vacuum up all of the...
That's correct, and they do that.
All right, I'm glad we've got carp. Thank you all for coming very much. Well, I mean, so, go ahead.
Talk about the common carp and the effect they have, though, is just almost devastating in our waters. They'll defoul our lakes because they're bottom feeders and stir everything up and eat everything out of sight. So they'll eat all the plants in the bottom of the lake and just completely take over. I have nightmares about the first time I saw carp migrate.
You need a hobby. No, but let's explain. I mean, let's just delve into this a little bit. So, once either domestic carp or Asian carp are in the waters, what do they actually do? Do they just roll around in the mud? I'm really confused. What are these creatures?
Well, we'll start with the common carp. And the common carp, as Jeff said, they were actually brought here to eat for food, and then people decided they didn't like them after all that. And they weren't brought here to clean up the waters as just food, because they were common food fish in Eastern Europe. And they have the effect of eating in the bottom, digging in the bottom at some depth, like up to a foot deep, like pigs, and they just dig everything up, including the plants. And in the process of doing that, they destroy the whole ecosystem and the clarity of the water, and remove the plants, and everything's turned upside down from the bottom up. And the issue with the Asian carp is they were brought over here because they filter feed, they remove the plankton, so they destroy the ecosystem from the top down. So when we get both of them in the Mississippi River, it's just going to be totally destroyed, basically, because everything's eaten from both directions.
And the mass of these fish is astounding. I've seen areas that they're touching each other in areas as large as this building. Where you
because there's so many.
There's so many of them. They concentrate in such big concentrations that they totally take over and nothing else will live among them.
So I think that it's important to talk, because this is one of the big concerns about Asian carp, right? That they'll decimate not only the plant species, but that moves up the food chain, right? And so, but I mean, I guess one of the maybe naive questions to ask would be, they're not native here, so shouldn't some bigger fish come along and, eat them all when they're still babies or something like that? Shouldn't there be some sort of, carp genocide that happens underwater?
Oh, you keep saying this. Well, there probably is to some extent, because they can have about 500,000 young a year.
God!
So, and common carp, several million. So something's eating quite a few of them, but apparently not enough. And I guess we just don't know enough about that equation to figure that all out. But yeah.
So it's important to have egg predators. Sunfish will eat the eggs of these things and just thrive on them. But in the areas where the sunfish don't survive is where the carp breed.
So we were talking a little bit before the show, and in addition to some of the destructive things that these carp do, as far as digging in the sand and eating a lot of the mud and eating a lot of the plankton and whatnot, they're actually incredibly resilient fish too, aren't they? They outlive a lot of other fish. And I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how impressive these fish are. Talk about how wonderful these carp are.
Tell us about the one that you followed from Starring Lake this year. that took its little vacation with his buddies down the stream, and how they go out into the streams and come back into the lake.
This is a family show.
Well, yeah. So I know more about the common carp, but they're very impressive fish. They live to be 60, 70 years old.
They have a million babies a year?
They have a million babies a year, starting at the age of 2 or 3. By the time they reach 60 or 70, they're still that healthy, having those many babies. When you catch them, they don't look like they're old fish. They remember where they are. When we follow them around, they actually pursue very strategic movements between lakes, and they come back those ways. So they really are pretty clever fish. They learn to avoid nets. This is one of the problems with them. It seems to be the case with Asian carp too. They're frankly a little bit smarter than the locals, it seems. They live longer. No, I'm serious about that. And very healthy, very tough.
Can I just say, just really quickly, I don't know how many people were here to see some of the slides of Asian carp that we had running before the show. It is so surprising to hear that they are smarter than other fish, because if you look at them, they look really dumb. Like, they have big bottom their jaws jut forward at the bottom, and their eyes are sloped down along their face, and you can just imagine them sort of saying, duh. And yet it's all just a ruse to trick us, it seems like. We're going to turn it over to our improvisers for our first round here in just a minute, but to wrap up this sort of first initial talking about the carp, where are they now, I guess, is a question.
The Asian carp are invading up the Mississippi River right now, and down below Keokuk, Illinois, at Lock and Dam number 18, they're profligate. They're everywhere, and just in huge masses. In Minnesota, we're just so far finding individual adult species. Until 2 weeks ago, a net was caught with 2 of the same species at once. That's the first time in Minnesota that's happened. So they're swimming up through the locks and dams in the Mississippi River.
All right, on that happy note, what we're going to do, just a quick round of applause for these gentlemen. We're going to have them back here in the second half, or the second half of the 3-part show. We're going to have them back. So, but for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our seats over at this table, and we're going to turn it over to our team of improvisers who have been listening to all this. They're going to bring it to life on stage, and then we'll bring back our guest and open it up for you all to ask some questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the Theater of Public Policy cast.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Barack Obama, and I would like to talk to you today about a concern for each and every one of us. Getting caught.
I am the middle son of a common carp. I have 78 million brothers and sisters, and I feel ignored. Can't even get Dad to notice me.
Your mother and I just wish at least 100,000 of you would call. Why don't you tell us how things are going? We see some of you with some cute girl fish and cute boy fish, and we'd like to have them over for dinner. We're serving grass. Delicious.
So, we invited some more carp to come in to help us clean up the neighborhood, but I'm starting to suspect they're taking over. They're much smarter than we are.
Now, I take full blame for the fact that they have come to our shores. They have crossed our borders, and that is my fault. But they will not be getting health care.
So it would be nice to have some grandchildren, perhaps. I mean, I wouldn't mind $1 billion or $2 billion, given how many children I have now, and how many will multiply and then I could be a great-grandparent for several hundred billion trillion cards. That's a lot of birthday cards, but...
Look at me, Dad. I jumped over a lock. Did you do that? I don't think so. I'm almost in the Quad Cities.
I think they've been organizing. I see them at night in their little carp houses. Their little carp lights on, drinking little carp coffee together. Talking.
Now, I understand that I have a plan. Now, I want you to know that. I'm going to take all the drones, send them right to the Mississippi. We're going to take care of these little guys.
Do I have to move to Canada to catfish? Is that what it
We're gonna make sure that they
Come on, there. You pay attention to what the Arkansas, what you up here, what about me? What about me? Come on. All right. You knew I was a bottom feeder when you let me in.
I knew that about your species. I didn't know that about you in particular.
Oh, I'm supposed to be different from everybody else.
I thought you were different.
You invited me in. You knew my past.
I know. I didn't know you were gonna just start taking over everything.
What am I supposed to do? I had to get out of Arkansas. Have you been there? Those people are dumb.
No, I thought you would, liven things up a little bit and be like the life of the party.
And I am. Look how big I am. I'm huge.
I know, but
I can jump. Have you seen my lower jaw?
I have. It's just that, you gotta let other people shine. You gotta take your turn in the spotlight, right?
You're a sunfish, aren't you?
Yes.
You want to eat my eggs.
Yes.
This has all been a ruse.
Yes.
Oh my God. I think I'm in love with you. Maybe we could mate and make sun carp. Or Asian fish.
It's a beautiful thought.
It's amazing how our fins can hold hands like this. What? It's like we're evolving right in front of everybody. Gosh.
We can really set our differences aside.
And maybe make it all the way to Superior.
Fins crossed.
The Lord Almighty calleth forth the carp.
Hello!
You are truly my finest creation, and wanted to tell you a little bit about what you'll be doing now.
All right, what do I have to?
Well, I've got a special sin in mind for you. Now, I want you to know that I gave this a lot of thought, and I decided to give you the very best one.
What is it?
Take a guess.
I'm gonna be rolling in the mud.
No, not quite. Think more, ingestion style.
I'll be eating grass and
Gluttony! Gluttony! There you go. Now, how much can you eat?
Oh, pounds and pounds and pounds a week.
That's not gonna be enough. How about now?
I can eat more than I weigh every day.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, I'll put you down. I'll put you down in Asia, but after that, you gotta spread.
Okay.
All right? You need everything in your path. Think you can make it to America?
I'd love to go to America.
Heck, I knew you could do it.
I have a cousin who's a common carp. It'd be nice to see him.
Yeah, those carp. They haven't been doing very well.
Listen, honey, it's not that I don't love you anymore.
Well, what's the problem then?
I'm tired of having babies. I'm 64 years old. I've had babies for the last 62 years.
Well, we have such a beautiful family.
I know.
There goes, I think that's one of ours.
I know we make beautiful babies, but there's so many of them, and I'm starting to lose track at Christmas.
I think that was John the 812th.
I don't know. I can't keep them straight anymore. And I'm trying to fill all their stockings with the same amount, and I can't do it anymore.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, fish don't wear stockings anyway. It's kind of silly.
Come here, Thomas. Come here. Oh, I love having a pet carp. Open wide. Come back. Now use your words. You're smarter than the other fish.
I want.
You want
to fly.
to fly. But you're a fish, Thomas. A fish. We've talked about that. You're not even amphibious.
But it could be fun.
Well, if
I could hit water skiers.
you are a monster, Thomas. Dad. Oh, stop it, Thomas. Oh, all right. Here you go.
Throw it in the air for me.
All right. It's a Vienna sausage. Thomas, that scares me. If you're a fish and you can fly, what next?
I'm gonna go tell everybody.
No, Thomas! Oh my God.
Son, it's time you learn the family motto. You're 15 years old and I want to teach it to you.
All right, Dad.
Any problem in this world can be solved by introducing a fish to it.
Will it clear up my acne?
Son, you just need to find the right kind of fish. Now, I've got a whole aquarium of fish that I've been culturing for, well, I was going to save it for Christmas, but I have a bass that will clear up your face. Don't worry. Here you are.
It's just a bass, Dad. Not even a common carp.
Well, son,
It's just making me itch.
look, not every fish works out the first time. Sometimes you need to try one or more fish.
Get me a different one, please, Dad.
Okay. How about a lamprey?
No!
But they have lots of sharp teeth.
And they're electric. Ah! Dad, I want to have children someday. Take it away.
All right. This is part of the process. Not every fish, the first one is going to work.
All right, try a third one.
I have a common grass carp for you.
Common grass carp. Let's see how it works. My God, Dad. I look like Tony Danza.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's not waste any time. Let's bring back our expert guest. Please put your hands together. All right, so, I don't know if there's anything that you want to correct in that. Good, perfect. All right, so we talked a little bit about who the carp are and you know, the fact that they're here. I guess, and we've started to talk a little bit about why we should be concerned. But I mean, at some point, can we really actually even stop them? Is this a fight that we can win if it's a fight as far as keeping them out?
Do you think we can eat enough of them to make it?
Well, keep going back there at the buffet table. Not so bad. It would be possible if everyone ate a carp a day that we could do this. But we got to change our eating habits.
Is that how much you would have a carp a day?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't figured it out, but it might be something like that. There are probably a few million of them out there.
Good.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, because we've heard a lot about that they're trying to stop them, put up barriers or whatnot. Will that work? Can we just, you know, say, screw you, Illinois, and we're fine up here, upriver?
Well, it's a huge challenge. If they get above the Iowa border, they can up into the Twin Cities and all the way up into the northern lakes. It's conceivable they could spread all through the Minnesota lake system. It's all interconnected now. So if we don't stop them, we're kind of the last bastion. They're already down in Illinois, southern Iowa, western Iowa. So if we don't stop them, we know what to expect.
And how do we, well, what are some of the ways that they're trying to stop them right now? What are some of the implements that they're putting up to try and keep them out?
So I guess barrier systems are really the primary method of stop, and also good practices because people were transporting them as bait, and they were moving them to food markets in Chicago and New York for consumption, which was pretty stupid, but that was going on. So shutting down those easy things make a big difference.
We can close a lock and dam so they can't jump over the lock and dam. We can kill them.
Can we kill them? If we can't catch them in a net, I'm honestly curious about that. I mean, could you possibly kill them without killing everything else in the water?
We'll try. People are looking, and we'll try. And there are experiments being done for things that would just target those fish, or to make them. Dr. Sorensen's an expert on how to attract them with pheromones, their natural smells.
Again, family show.
No, nothing lives forever, right? So there's always a disease out there, or a parasite, or something like that, or something eats the young. There's a weakness. Most of these things aren't invasive. In both cases, the Asian carp and the common carp are not invasive in the areas of the world they came from. So the things controlling them there, we just have to figure out what that was and bring it over here.
We know it's not wild.
Well, let me follow up on that, because that seems incredibly dangerous, doesn't it? Like to say, well, we got this carp problem, but, if we just bring over a few barracuda, they'll eat the carp up. Then we've got a barracuda problem, and I don't know what eats those. I mean, is this just like a game for you scientists?
Well, it's a game. Sure, I hope to win it.
Oh, good. I hope so, too.
It's a challenge.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about the work that you're doing at the university.
Well, we're looking at feed. So, like the Asian carp, they eat blue-green algae in the water. Nothing else eats that. So, you might say, well, it's a problem because that's the base of the food chain. On the other hand, that's a unique thing that they do. Only they do. So that's a targetable part of their life history. We can look at that. And then we're looking at pheromones, attractants that they male and female. I'm sure you guys will make fun of this, but they look the same to each other, right? They're all silver. None of them have, so how do they tell male from a female? It's by odors, like dogs and so forth. So we can attract them and perhaps remove them and shut them down like that, because there are very specific things that make them invasive, and there are very specific things that then are targetable. So that's kind of the philosophy. And likewise, we start looking at disease now, things like that. So that's kind of our approach, is to figure out what makes them tick, and then we know it's not perfect. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. And just find out, where that weakness or two might be, and then maybe we can eventually bring this under control. And the sooner the better.
Tell them about some of the other species, the zebra mussels and milfoil and things.
So we'll be looking at zebra mussel too. We'll be hiring somebody along those lines, looking at the same kind of thing.
And we should just say what zebra mussels are.
Well, they're a small mussel from actually the same area of the world the common carp are from, Caspian Sea area, sort of Eurasia, and they are a freshwater mussel, mollusk, and unlike our native mussels, they have these threads, so they hang on to things, and they also filter feed. See, things live differently over there. They filter feed, and so it's kind of the same danger that Asian carp bring with them. They don't jump, but they attach to things, and they filter feed, and they remove stuff, and then of course the shells are nasty and you can't walk on them and so forth. So they'll just, I guess, dramatically change the way everything is if we let them keep moving through.
There's so many in Mille Lacs, they say they filter the water every 4 days through a zebra mussel in a lake that's 218 square miles.
The Hudson River right now, actually in one day, they're in the Hudson River. In one day they filter the whole volume of the Hudson River. So they're very, very efficient. There's no way of treating them or anything right now that's effective. Well, of course, we're moving around in boats and stuff. That's how you stop them. Right now, that's how you would stop them. Change our behaviors, but eventually maybe it's not that different than, I think, human disease issues, and guys can work on that too, but same transmission vectors and things like that you should be worrying about. when people transmit these things. Also, you want to look at ways to cure them once, once they've established themselves. And that's what we've got to work on as well. So.
All right, what we would like to do is we'd like to, if there's a question in the audience, actually, I'll, just for the sake of everyone hearing, I'll run out with the microphone. Yes, man with a cigar.
What type of, or what kind of a carp do we have in Lake Zumbro, and do they eat the fingerling, the walleye fingerling the DNR keeps putting in there?
I did not understand that question, but I'm hoping the doctor did.
Every word of it. So you have common carp in Lake Zumbro, I'm sure, probably in huge numbers. They wouldn't eat the walleye fingerlings, but they'd be destroying the habitat for those walleye.
So a common thing is they totally destroy where the young fish would live, so there's no place for them to hide, and it makes them susceptible to other predators.
Oh, poor carp. All right, other folks with a question. I'm very willing to run out into, so don't be afraid. I just want, okay, I'm going to come over here and then I'll come over there.
Why are these carp rolling around in the mud?
Yeah. Fair enough. Why are carp roaming around in the mud?
I don't know who started that rumor exactly, but I don't know which carp you're talking about, but when they spawn and reproduce, they go into very, very shallow water, so they will commonly be, rolling around in very shallow water. So that's probably what people see in the spring. They're doing that to get we figured out now, to get away from the predators in the lake, so they can release their young up there.
We'll see that in a matter of weeks in Cascade Meadows, in the big wetlands that are created up there. They swim all the way up Cascade Creek and want to spawn in those big wetlands.
Well, we're going to kill them, right?
All right, you had one question over here.
Is there any practical implications of instilling some hybridized, sterilized fish species to, intermingle with the breeding population?
Oh, wow. We should probably unpack that a little bit. But introducing a hybrid species potentially, would that affect the population that's there now?
Am I going to answer that? Okay.
Why do you get paid the big bucks?
Exactly. You follow the newspapers, and anyway, well, that particular idea, which works for insects, probably can't really work for fish too well, because you need a very large number of sterile fish to release to overwhelm it. The idea is that if you flood a population with sterile animals, they will attempt to mate, and then of course they won't have any young, so they'll kind of have their reproductive efforts will be for nothing, so they'll breed themselves out of existence. So there you go. There's a good thing to know with. And then but a more interesting idea, and you'll have fun with this too. In Australia, they are actually developing what they call dorsal carp, which are genetically engineered so they can only have male offspring. Now that's a much smarter idea because the males actually reproduce and they only have males. So over the next few decades, they'll just be lakes filled with male carp, and then eventually they'll die off. And carp, which have heavily infested all the outback areas of Australia, that's what they're looking to as for one of the fixes down there. So I'm sure this will be interesting.
Well, yeah, on that note, we really are going to just have to turn it back over to our team. So please, round of applause for these guys as we take our seats in the audience, handing it back over to the Theater of Public Policy cast.
Hi, I'm Doug, and this is Sandra. We're Asian carps, and our reproductive efforts came to naught.
I blame him.
She says that I'm too tired, and that I was a product of two carp that only produced male carp. And so I tend to relate more to male carp than to Sandra here.
He doesn't know how it works. He doesn't know how to approach a woman, that's all. I'm just saying.
I have a bad nose. I don't smell well.
He has a hard time differentiating between men and women. So, it's the pheromones.
It's a big word, but it's true. It's true.
It's the odor.
She also blames me that we're stuck down there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and she said, let's go to the cities. And it's like, we can't, there are barriers.
My parents are in the cities, okay? It'd be nice for them to see their grandchildren once in a while, if we had grandchildren.
If we had grandchildren, but we don't.
Yeah.
Great. I bring home milfoil, I bring home zebra mussels, I say, let's cook these up. Then where'd you get these? Some propeller? I say, where am I supposed to get them? You try to be successful, if you know what I mean, with that kind of criticism. What we're doing is we're asking for your help.
I just wish that we could communicate better, that's all. You know, I mean, when we got married, I thought I told you that I really, really wanted kids, that's all. And I just feel like we've lost touch, and
I know, and
we've been trying so hard that...
Maybe we need to take a vacation. Maybe we should go down to New Orleans or something. Just let the river take us for a while.
That's a great idea.
Gamble, and have some redfish and jambalaya.
That sounds delightful.
No, it does. I like the way your hair smells.
Oh.
It's funny you have hair for a fish, but it's true. Wow.
So your nose is getting a little better, huh?
I think it is. Wow, you guys had pizza tonight, huh? Or carp. They had carp? What? Wow.
Whoa.
I feel less safe. Well, thanks for your help.
Thanks for listening. We really appreciate having someone to talk to when we have troubles.
Yeah. So we're just going to go over here and the wetlands and...
Hey, Jeremy, can I see you out here for a second?
Well, yeah, what's the matter?
Come on out.
Yeah, I'm here.
Now, here at McDonald's, we take this whole carp thing really serious.
I know.
All right?
I know.
This is a huge opportunity for us.
Yeah, I understand.
All right? Now, I would like you to explain to me why we have a $4.99 crap fillet.
You're mispronouncing it. It's a crab.
Am I?
I made a mistake. But I want you to know that this morning we have sold more crab fillets than we have sold any other day. Any other day.
The crap fillet sales are usually low.
I know.
Good thing they're on sale. The problem here is
It's Friday.
The next line is also off. You're selling it with rat sauce.
I couldn't read your writing. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to put up
I'm
there.
sorry. I used to be a doctor. I'm sorry.
I'm a zebra mussel. I need you. Don't leave me.
You know, I'm a body of water. I need to flow. I've got, the rest of the Hudson to traverse. So if you could just filter me out, and I'll be on my way.
I'd like to do that, but I have to do it again tomorrow and the next day.
Well, no, that's fine. I'll see you then. Daily grind.
I'm a thread mussel, and I'm attached to you. I don't know what I would do without you.
Hi, are you the Hudson? Oh, it's nice to meet you. I'm milfoil.
Get out, milfoil. This one's mine.
Oh, zebra, you've had your day.
Get out of here.
We're gonna have a long partnership together, you and me.
No, I'm always the third wheel.
Hey guys!
Oh.
There's a silver carp!
Oh, God.
Let's do it!
You're messing everything up for us.
I'm floating away.
I'll see you all tomorrow, okay?
Don't go!
I'll be right back. Just gonna...
This crap sandwich.
Thanks, it's got some special ingredients in it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that milfoil?
it is! It's milfoil.
Wow, it's like it takes over my mouth.
I know.
Like cilantro.
I know. You have to use very little because does. It really takes over everything. It does.
But there's something else in here too, isn't there?
Uh-huh.
Let me see. Tastes like something that might have been from Africa originally, or looks like something from Africa. Is it a?
It's got lines on it. It's kind of stripy.
Is it a badger?
No, it's got stripes.
Oh, like a NASCAR.
No, like a horse, but with black and white.
Like if you've been at the lake too long and you wore the same suit.
Really? No, it looks like a horse, but it's
like Gangnam Style.
Mary, I don't know how we can continue this way.
What do you mean, Jennifer? You know I'm not the smartest man around, or the most musical.
I married you because you were handsome and you smelled like a male. I like that.
That's true, I rarely bathe. Never worked before when I was in college.
Listen, I didn't marry you for your looks.
You couldn't have married me for my brain, what a disappointment.
I love you more, no matter what, even if you're dumb.
Let me take a bite, give it one more chance.
Try.
I get it now.
Do you?
I think I do. It's like a horse, but with stripes.
Yes.
You put mule in my sandwich.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to welcome back our guests one more time for one last round of questions from you all. We're going to come back to you all for some questions. So, while our guests take their seats, if you have got a question for one of them, please raise your hand and I will come find you. Yes, right here.
If things go terribly awry, what does the ecosystem look like after the carp have taken over?
What does the ecosystem look like after the carp? In the post-carp apocalyptic universe, what does the ecosystem look like?
Looks like a cornfield, a monoculture.
Yeah, I would say very few species, very uniform, probably pretty green. I assume, you mean common carp or Asian carp?
Who wins in a fight?
That's a good question. Well, I think they're both on the equal, opposite ends of it, but it'll be much fewer species and things you don't want, that kind of thing. I don't see it coming out any better.
And the danger is homogenizing our whole ecosystem with just a few of these species that are taken over, whether it's the whole combination of all of them together makes everything the same, so there's none of that diversity left that we like in our lakes.
All right. Oh, sad. I'm going to come right here.
Jeff, you might want to talk about where they harvest these things out at the lake.
Can I just say, I love coming to Rochester because everyone knows the guest by a first name basis. Jeff!
Dr. Sorensen invited me to a carp harvest up in the Twin Cities by Flying Cloud Airport, where he has Judas fish. He has radio-tagged fish. And they all cluster together in the winter so they can find them with a radio device. And these guys come out, the fishmongers, to harvest them look like the Duck Dynasty guys, big long beards and rough and tumble guys that come out and saw holes in the ice and thread these nets all the way around. And this bunch of fish was at least as big as this room, hundreds of thousands of carp. and they get that net all the way around and start pulling it until they can't pull it anymore. And then 4 guys with nets start scooping them out of a big hole in the ice to sort them and pack them into boxes and ship them out to the plant. But it is just absolutely writhing with fish from top to bottom in the water column. It looks like you could walk across all of these fish. It gives you nightmares to see it, and it's in our lakes. You know, it's a writhing mass of biomass that completely takes over these small lakes.
But that's common carp, right?
That's common carp, right? We haven't seen that similar situation, but go on the YouTube videos on the program and look at some of the Illinois River where the carp are jumping out and slapping people as they're driving around. Any disturbance and they're just totally boiling through the water.
All right, other questions from the audience? I'm going to come over here. Sorry.
What are they doing with them when they ship them out?
Smoke them.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, what do they do with these carp? Like, do we eat them, make them into licorice?
Licorice. Well, it's possible you ate some today. Some are eaten. The roe goes to Germany. It's actually a very popular bar snack. It's worth quite a bit. Sometimes they're used for gefilte fish. The air bladders can be used for finings for making wine. So there are uses. The problem is although I think they're pretty tasty. The problem is typically the flesh doesn't fetch very much in the open market. So or the mussels. So it's hard to sell them, and that's the problem.
Cat food, fertilizer, there's been fed them to hogs, and the hogs end up tasting like fish. They've tried a lot of different things for them.
Have you thought about just trying to make them sexier? Like just having just have some celebrity, just have Ben Affleck eat like a plate of carp, like in his next movie, and then see if people out.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a hyperbole here. So what if the system isn't productive enough to support plankton feeders? So the upper Miss is not like the Illinois River in terms of plankton production. So how do you, what is the role of productivity in the system to support Asian carp?
Well, someone had to ask a hard question. What have
I been doing all
But yeah, just make anything up there. But anyway, well, it's possible they won't do so well way up in the upper Miss, but at least through the Twin Cities, there's more than enough production to support pretty high biomass if Asian carp would appear. Yeah.
And many of our lakes are hyper-eutrophic. They're super saturated with nutrients. And Albert Lee, for instance, is a good example where if they get in those lakes there, they could thrive on the algae that's booming every year. So they might be passing through the areas that have less productivity, and there may be a limitation to it. But do we really want to find out what those limits are?
You know, we are just about out of time, so I wanted to, before we let you go, I wanted to ask, what do we do? I don't know, and now that we're all panicked and we're going to have nightmares about fields of carp coming towards us, what do we do about any of this? What can actual people do? I mean, I don't suppose we can, like, we could all leave tonight and go and try and build some sort of dam somewhere down the Mississippi and say, just leave it there. But I mean, other than that, what can we do?
Eat more carp probably isn't the answer. But closing Lock and Dam 1 in the Twin Cities would save the upper Mississippi River and our lake areas likely. And they're working on other barrier technologies. We first got to know where they are, how they're advancing, and then it's up to the scientists to figure out how do we deal with them.
Yeah, I would say don't panic. They've been here since early 90s, in fact. So it's not like this is moving through at like great speed. I mean, there's reason to kind of be thoughtful and respond. But there's still time to be systematic and rational and develop an approach that will control them. And we've been lucky at the upper end of the Mississippi, really, that stuff's come through as late as it has. And there's still plenty of time to respond with developing some good science and technologies to do something. And I'm sure some of them will succeed.
All right. Well, we're gonna give our improvisers one last chance here, but please, big round of applause for our guests. Thank you so much. With that, take it away.
Come in.
Governor, you're looking at your solution right here.
I'm out of ideas, so I'm willing to listen to you.
You know, they're saying, all those scientists, that these carp have no natural predators, that nothing eats them.
Yeah, that's what they've been telling me.
I'll eat them.
But you're just one man.
Maybe. But I'll eat all of them. I'll go in there, I'll get muddy, I'll swim around in the lake, and I'll eat every last one of them.
You're gonna eat carp for breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night snack. I'm willing to give it a try. It works for me. I've got a carp in my office. Usually I show it to scare people. But it never works. They just say gross and leave, and
I've got a little rumble in my tummy right now.
Well, here. Keep it in this box. It's kind of dry, but...
Beauty! This one. Might be able to get this one in one bite. See, I've been all over the world eating all kinds of food. I went to Old Country Buffet, left them with just one little drumstick left. I'm not fat because I eat so much. I'm fat because I'm full of life. You're welcome.
Millions to go. Mary.
Yeah?
I haven't seen you around in a while. Where'd you get this giant radio antenna?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't seen you. I've been kind of hiding. I was a little embarrassed.
I think it's kind of cool.
Do you?
I've never seen one of those
Really?
before.
Well, I was kind of embarrassed.
And it beeps every now and then.
Yeah, it does. They put a collar on me too, but I ditched the collar.
Yeah.
I just have the antenna now. They're following me.
It seems that Mary has approached Peter. Let's see what happens.
They can hear everything I say.
We can hear everything she says.
What are you talking about? Who can hear you?
The big people.
The DNR.
I'm sorry, Peter. I don't know if I can see you anymore. I don't want you to get hurt.
What?
She doesn't like you, Peter.
No, I do. I like you. It's just I don't
She
want
doesn't like you that much.
Stop it.
Well, come on. I'm sorry.
I just don't want them to hurt you. They're after me.
What?
They're constantly following me. They listen to everything I say. I can't get away.
Look at his face. He seems unmoved. He's not worth it.
I don't care who listens in on us. Mary, you're the fish I want to be with.
He wants to be watched. That's creepy.
Let's hold fins.
Yeah.
They're evolving in front of us.
Have you ever eaten your young?
Welcome to the monoculture.
Tis good to be here.
Yes, it is. There is nowhere else to be now.
I need a place where I can show you something. Something that will please you, I'm
Why
sure.
don't you come over here? It is just like this place, but it is 2 steps away.
Our home. It is the same.
It is. What can you show me? There is nothing new now.
My name is Dr. Holloway.
So is mine. It's the monoculture.
Forgot about that. Well, it's nice to meet you, although I feel like you'll probably tell me we've already met.
We've already met.
That was. Listen, I am an invasive species scientist, and in my lab I have been creating something to shake up your monoculture.
Let go of my hand. Show it me.
I have, with great effort, created the next invasive species. It's an invasive gorilla.
It is large.
Yes, I designed it that way.
Let me touch its back.
Oh, it might. Yes, he likes that.
Why would you create a docile, invasive creature? I think it will just get in the way.
I've trained him not to eat anyone named Dr. Holloway, so he's not eating you either.
Or you, or everyone else. It's the monoculture. The prefix mono means the same. Culture means where we live. Put them together, you have the same culture.
I wasn't a doctor of English!
Nor was I, nor were any of us. I like him, though.
Well, soon there will be millions of him. Everywhere.
It will be like being at the state fair.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I'm dancing with you in the lyrics.
I've never seen you here before.
Yeah, I'm new. I just rolled into town, and I'm putting it down. Don't know what that means, but it rhymed, so I said it.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. I don't know what to do. Haven't met anybody like you, and I want to be together with you.
Do I smell like a female? Good, 'cause you smell like a man to me. And that makes me wanna be with you forever. Which might be 60 or 70 years. I hope you're okay with that.
Mary, read his face. For God's sake, we've been through this before.
Why do you have a radio collar?
He's out of tune, Mary.
They're watching me.
Oh.
They're watching me. They're listening to me. They follow me. Do I still smell good to you? Come on.
That's okay, Mary. Try again. You're an invasive species.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here. You were fantastic. Did you guys have a good time? We have had such a great evening tonight. A big round of applause for our two guests. They were really fantastic. You all were great. Please come and find us on our website. I want to make sure our cast gets a chance to say who we have been.
Andrew Allheim.
Jim Robinson.
Andrea Guilford.
Brandon Boat.
I'm Tay Danger. Dennis Curley's on the piano. Thank you all so much. Thank you all to our sponsors. Thank you to the Elks for having us. And I'm going to hand it back over to Meredith. You guys were really fantastic. Thank you. We love Rochester.
Thank you guys, we love you! Especially the long female fish. Well, I hope you can all hear okay and enjoy the evening. I wanted to make sure you all knew that we have the LP and the 45s playing for you immediately after the show, like right now. Go tell them to start. And they are a 50s, 60s, modern oldies rock band. They're local. They're very, very good. And I hope that you will stay and mingle and talk. We have some leftover food from earlier. And you can venture next door and enjoy the music. Thank you so much for coming.